I get 0 minutes of screen time per week. And I gotta be honest, it was not always like that. I remember a couple of years ago, I was laying in my bed. I just woke up, and first thing I did was reach for my phone and I started scrolling on TikTok. And to be honest, I wasn't thinking. I was just completely numb in the brain. I wasn't aware of my existence. And I was just scrolling through TikTok, and a couple hours later, I actually realized that I existed. I was like, oh, maybe I should start my day. But it was way too difficult to stand up and start my day. And I just remember feeling miserable, completely worthless. That's when I decided to make some changes. I decided to actually completely change my life. And it was not easy. It was not quick, but I did it. And after a couple years, now I have 0 minutes of screen time on my phone. I just check it every once in a while. And I developed a 4-step framework to completely cut off your phone screen time. So the first step is to turn your phone into a tool. I know, crazy, right? Actually use your phone as it's supposed to be used. Neil Armstrong, famous explorer. He was the first man to step foot on the moon. That is such a crazy accomplishment. Do you think that he had games on his phone? No. President Nixon, he sent a phone call to the astronauts and said, this is probably the most amazing phone call in all of history. And he was right. And the thing is that phone was purely a tool. The phone is just for a tool, and it's not for wasting your time. And so there's some steps to actually turn your phone into a tool, but I'm not going to explain them all in this video. There's a free PDF down below if you want to actually check out those steps. The second step to this framework is to delete your social media accounts. Actually delete your account. And I remember a couple of years ago when I was still addicted to my phone and I was on social media, I remember there's zero reward to this. There's absolutely no benefit. Yet I was still doing it. And I remember just kind of having this visualization. I was thinking, who do I want to become? What is this person? Is this person using social media? Is this person spending hours looking at random strangers' pictures online? Is that what I'm doing in the future? No, I'm not. And I realized right then and there that all of the reasons that I came for social media, all the reasons that I tried to convince myself to have social media, it was not me speaking. It was not my future goal speaking. It was the addiction. It's all the addiction. And people don't want to admit that. But I'm very grateful that I admitted that to myself. And as a result, now I'm not on social media. And the funny thing is, all the anxieties that I had about getting off of social media before, they didn't come true. I thought, oh, people are going to get sad. I deleted social media and people didn't even notice until months later. And even then, they didn't really care. So it's all just the addiction speaking. Step 3 is to have a log off ritual. So I first started doing this just because I heard that your balls actually get radiated by the Wi-Fi on your phone. And I just used that as an excuse to just have a log off ritual. But then I learned in a book called Deep Work, Cal Newport was talking about how in your work you should have a log off ritual, and that basically allows your mind to have closure for the day and not think about work for the rest of the day. And I realized that that's exactly what I do in my phone. I have a log off ritual every single time I use my phone, and that basically puts my mind in the mindset that, oh, I'm done using the phone for now. This is it. And pretty much what I do is I always just turn on airplane mode and completely shut it down. And that's my log off ritual. It's just as simple as that. And what that does is, first of all, it makes it a lot more time consuming to use it again in the future, because I have to wait for it to come back on completely. And then it also closes my mind over the fact that I want to use the phone again. So it basically allows me to kind of reset, and it allows me to let go of my phone usage. The fourth step to the 4-step framework is to fix your environment. So I remember I used to be so addicted to my phone that I always wanted to bring it with me to the bathroom. I was so addicted that I couldn't do the simple act of using the bathroom for a couple seconds without my phone. And honestly, I was really embarrassed. I remember one day I I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring my phone to the bathroom. I'm gonna sit on the toilet and take a poop and watch some TikTok. But then I thought, like, this is so embarrassing. I can't sit here for a couple minutes alone in my own thoughts. Christopher Columbus, very controversial figure, but this man, he rode all the way across the ocean at times where people thought that he would literally fall off the earth, like literally fall into outer space. Do you think that this guy had to use his phone when he went to the bathroom? No, I don't think he did. Now, obviously, they didn't have phones back then, but that just proves my point even more. You don't need to use your phone in the bathroom. And at that time, I realized just how important the environment was. So that's why I always keep my phone in the basement on this like little chair. And since humans are lazy, like, let's use laziness to our advantage. If I'm sitting upstairs and I want to use my phone, I have to get up, go all the way down the stairs, walk all the way across the basement, turn on my phone, wait for it to turn on, wait for the airplane, wait for data to turn back on, and then use it. That is a long process, and to be honest, I'm too lazy to do that a lot of the time. So that's why I do that. And also what I do is I just don't bring my phone places. I don't bring my phone to the gym. I didn't bring my phone to high school. I don't bring my phone places. And people are like, oh, what if something bad happens? Well, that just doesn't happen. Like, I've been doing this for at least half a year, and nothing bad has ever happened. And even if something does happen, I can just go use somebody else's phone. I memorize my parents' phone numbers. And also, it's like people are so worried about being detached from their phone, just like I was a couple of years ago when I couldn't use the bathroom without my phone. And it just makes me think. Back when I was addicted to my phone, I was so dependent. I would hear like, oh, you didn't bring your phone to the school today? Like, how? But now it's like just the other month, I flew all the way across the world. I went on a vacation in another country without my phone. And guess what? Nothing happened. In fact, I remember walking down the beach wearing nothing but shorts. Absolutely no phone, no identification, nothing. I was walking down the beach on this like third world country, and there was a big sign. It said, danger. Do not leave past this point. There is no security past this point. You know what I did? I kept walking. Why? Because I wanted to. And yeah, maybe that was a bad idea, but things just don't happen. And I may be ignorant. I may be naive. I may be privileged. Yes, I know that I am a man and I get lots of privileges, but the thing is that a lot of the time, you got to ask yourself, is this actually true, or is this just the addiction speaking? And to me, it's obvious. The addiction was speaking, because even though I'm a man and I have the privilege, people still say to me, oh, aren't you worried about something bad happening? Well, a couple of years ago, did you know that our parents used to not have phones? In fact, all of humankind, every single person in history got along without a phone. There was plenty of disasters that happened, much worse than the things we are experiencing today. And you know what they did? They did it without a phone. So it just goes to show how pretty much every single limiting belief, every single argument for using the phone and for keeping it with you during the day is all just the addiction speaking. Every single argument is just the addiction speaking. And yes, I do agree. There are times, actually. There are times when you should use the phone. And I do use the phone when it's necessary. And it can be a good tool. Like I said, the phone is a tool. Neil Armstrong, he used the phone on the moon as a tool to call the President of the United States. That's a tool, and it should be used as such.